And we're right back. Uh, Unless this is the first video that you watched. We just talked about John, and now we're going to the part. Yeah, we're going to the part where Jesus cleans the temple. There's a very famous story. You know, well, everything Jesus did was famous, but this one is very important, and a lot of people overlook parts of it. They don't see the whole picture with this. Okay, I'll get right into it. Alright. Now, in the book of John, where John recorded this whole event, unlike other three canonical gospels, he recorded cleansing of the temple at the early parts of the Jesus, his work. And when other three gospels recorded them, recorded this at near the end of Jesus' work. Why would that be? Well, we will look right into it. Okay. Now, most scholars who study the Bible, and like a lot of people who read this part, they just regard cleansing of the temple as Jesus just getting angry at the priests and the people working at the temple, for corrupting the temple with money and business, and making God's holy house dirty, marketplace basically. And that's all they see with it. And they don't analyze it any further than that. But you have to think about this, that Jesus, he didn't just rack the temple with a drop of a hat. He didn't just do this out of a random outburst. He didn't do this with just because he just wanted to do it. He just wanted to feel like doing it. That's not why he just cleans the temple. That's not why he made a whip and just racked the place. Everything Jesus did in his life, it was prophesied by many prophets during the days of Old Testament, and they came to fruition through Jesus' life and his work as God, as the Son of God that came down to the earth in flesh. Now we like to think that Jesus, he did what he did at the temple because of moral and ethical reasons. And that's because we think of Jesus as some sort of like moral or philosopher sort of teacher, instead of who he really is, which is Christ and Son of God and the Messiah. You have to consider that Jesus' work isn't something that's merely just morals or ethics or philosophy lessons. He's not someone like Socrates or Siddhartha. He's not someone like that. His works were grace and salvation, and that can't be compared to anything really. And it's not a religion like many other things in this world. When Jesus cleans the temple, he did it on the day of Passover. It was when the Jews would mark their door with lamb's blood and the angel of death would pass over them. I'm sure a lot of people are familiar with this. I don't really have to explain it, but you have to think about it. Okay, and then God, and God would send the angel of death. Now, you have to look into the whole picture, how this fits into the Jesus, destroying the temple, making a mess of the place. I suppose it already was, but okay. Jesus is God, right? Yeah, he is God. And God, who gave the day of Passover to the Jews, in a way, visited the temple in flesh. He came down as a man and he visited the temple. And the moment when Jesus cleansed the temple wasn't out of anger at the Jews, but it was the moment when Jesus ended the silence that came after the last prophet Malachi for 400 years. His anger wasn't something trivial like money or business, things like that, but what he really wanted was that he wanted the Jews to know that they can't find salvation with a building and sacrifices, earn something God wanted from them. It might sound like confusing, but you have to think about it. Sacrifices weren't something God wanted from them. When Jesus told them to tear down the temple and he'll build it all right back up in 3 days, he was talking about his body. This part is, it's very popular, but that's because it's the truth. That's what he was talking about. He was talking about his body when he was talking about the temple. He was telling them that he, Jesus, had to die, and with his blood, that their sins will be cleansed, just as the Lamb's blood let them pass over death. And that's what's happening when Jesus he cleans the temple. Okay, let's read Malachi chapter 3, verse 1 through 2. I'll read them for you. Behold, I send my messenger, and he shall prepare the way before me and the Lord. Yeah, he's talking about John the Baptist here. Whom you seek shall suddenly come to his temple, even the messenger of the covenant, whom you delight in, behold, he shall come, said the Lord of hosts. But who may abide the day of his coming, and who shall stand when he appears? For he is like a refiner's fire, and like fuller's soap. Yeah. See, this was prophesied, just like in this Malachi. Everything Jesus did, it was prophesied. And that's because he was the prophesied Son of God and the Messiah. Okay. And the day Jesus cleans the temple, it was the day when he declared his salvation to the world. He was telling us that you can't find salvation with religion, but only through Jesus, only through Christ. That's why he did what he did. And this is the most important message to be found from the book of John. And this is the truth, and you always have to remember that. Yeah. Well, it's not like it's a not popular thing for Christians to say, but Christianity and the Bible, it's not just some religion. No. It's you and Jesus' relationship together. Yeah. When you just hear it, it sounds like just something that Christians say to sound, because they want to sound special from other religions. But if you read the Bible and you put all the context together, that's all there to make out of it. That Jesus is the only truth. And only through him can you find salvation. Jesus doesn't want you to be like a moral person. He doesn't want you to just be like a good person who follows the law and do good things. All of those things you naturally follow when you're a good Christian. What's really important is that for you to have a relationship with Jesus and you truly accept him. And that's something you can never forget. And it's 2021. With this new year, I hope you all stay strong and carry the year out together with Christ, and may Christ make you strong and look after you. Thank you.